Come quick. Those urgent words from my son's teacher had me rushing to the scene, only to find Ethan unconscious on the ground. He had collided with a friend and fallen off the playground equipment. No matter how much I pleaded for help in my distress, my husband, caught up with work, wouldn't come to our son's side. "I don't care if you're working, this is going too far. Our boy is being rushed to the hospital." And that's when it hit me. The worst possible reason he couldn't rush to our son. I'm Aria. I live with my husband Jasper and our elementary school-aged son, Ethan. Jasper works in the hotel industry and doesn't get weekends off, so he can rarely participate in Ethan's school events. Forget parent observation days, he's never even shown up for sports day. When we got the notice about the upcoming parent-child field trip over the long weekend, I figured he wouldn't be able to go, but I asked anyway. "Hey Jasper, there's a parent-child outing coming up over the holiday weekend." "The long weekend?" "No can do, I've got work." I knew, but it still left me feeling lonely. Talking to the other moms, it sounded like they were all making arrangements to participate as couples. Seems like every other family is going together as husband and wife. Some of the dads usually work weekends too, but it sounds like they're adjusting their schedules to get that day off. I mentioned this to Jasper without much hope, but he got visibly annoyed. "And? You're saying I should take off too? You know what my job is like, right?" "Yes, I know. Sorry." So Ethan and I reluctantly decided to go on our own. While most families participated as a trio, there were a few dads who came solo since mom was absent. I guess some wives do have work that keeps them away. I resolved not to mind what others thought and just have fun with Ethan. Still, I have to admit I started feeling a bit lonely once the kids ran off to play together. With the other moms there as couples, I found it hard to join in the conversation. As I sat there spacing out by myself, Ethan's teacher came rushing over in a fluster. "Ethan's mom. Come quick." "What? What's going on?" Ethan collided with a friend and fell off the playground. Ethan did. I hurried to the scene to find my son collapsed on the ground, out cold. His teacher immediately called an ambulance. I rode with Ethan, still unconscious, to the hospital. As soon as we arrived, he was whisked in for examination. It suddenly hit me that I hadn't told Jasper anything yet. I hastily called my husband. "Hello? Jasper? It's an emergency." Ethan fell off the playground equipment and hit his head. He's unconscious. What? Then forget about calling me, you should have called an ambulance. His teacher already did that. He's at the hospital getting examined now. Oh, so you're at the hospital. Email me when you get the test results. What? I couldn't believe my ears. He couldn't possibly mean he wasn't coming, in an emergency like this. What are you saying? Get to the hospital right now. At my shout, my husband let out an exasperated sigh. Come on, I told you I can't take off work this long weekend, right? I don't care, this is an emergency. You're at the hospital, aren't you? Nothing I can do if I go there anyway. Anyway, all we can do now is wait for the results, so contact me again when you hear something. Talk to you later. With that, Jasper hung up on me. I stared at my phone in blank shock. He wouldn't even rush over for a crisis with our son. As I stood there crestfallen, a man approached me. "Are you Ethan's mother?" "I'm Liam's father." It was the dad of Liam, the friend Ethan had collided with. I remembered he had come with just his son, his wife being absent. Liam's father bowed deeply to me. "I am terribly sorry about all this." I hurriedly shook my head. The teacher told me Ethan and Liam ran straight into each other while running around. Ethan's inattentiveness played a role too, so please don't worry about it. Liam stood beside his father, eyes red from crying, with a bandage wrapped around his head. "It's 'cause I ran into Ethan." I gently said to Liam, "It's not your fault, Liam. Ethan will absolutely be okay. When he gets better, will you play with him again?" Liam nodded, still in tears. His father looked relieved as he thanked me. "Thank you for your kind words. My wife really ought to be here with me to give our apologies. I'm sorry about that." "No, my husband can't get away from work either, so." "Is your wife also working?" "No," Liam's father hesitated a bit. "Actually, my wife is off traveling with a friend. It was scheduled from before this field trip, and she couldn't cancel it apparently. It's embarrassing." "Oh, I see. I've been trying to contact her repeatedly about the accident, but I can't seem to get through. I still haven't been able to tell her." Just as Liam's father finished saying this, his phone rang. "Oh, it's my wife. Excuse me for a moment." He rushed to answer it and apprised his wife of the situation. "So that's what happened. How soon do you think you can get here?" 2 hours. "But how will you get back? You can't drive yourself." "Oh, with your friend? That's good then. Okay, be careful." Hanging up, he reported to me with relief, "Sorry about that." I got in touch with my wife. She said a friend who had business near here will drive her over. It'll take about 2 more hours though. "I see." Just then, I got an incoming call on my phone. "Oh, it's my husband. Pardon me." I excused myself and took the call. "Jasper, what is it?" "I'll be able to head over there after all. I'm off work in about 2 hours, then I'll come straight there." "Really? That's great." After I hung up, I updated Liam's father too. "My husband says he'll be here in about 2 hours as well. I'm glad we'll both be able to greet each other properly." At that point, I got called in by the doctor. The test results showed nothing wrong with Ethan. He had simply lost consciousness from the temporary shock, and now we just had to wait and see. Being told there's nothing wrong wasn't exactly comforting when we didn't know when he would regain consciousness. Still feeling uneasy, I exited the exam room to find Liam's father waiting for me, cradling a sleeping Liam in his arms. To take our minds off things, we started chatting about each other's family situations. Liam's mother is a stay-at-home mom, but lately she's apparently been going out a lot with friends on weekday evenings and weekends. At those times, his father takes over the childcare. Since my wife watches Liam all day on weekdays, I figure the least I can do is let her have freedom in the evenings and on weekends. But if I knew this would happen, I should have made her cancel her trip for the field trip at least. Hearing his story, I couldn't help comparing him to Jasper. My husband goes off on his own to unwind not only on work weekends, but even on his days off during the week. In contrast, Liam's dad actively participates in parenting. I found myself confiding in him, venting about my husband. As we talked, a strange commonality suddenly struck me. Jasper and Liam's mom's activities were matching up at every turn. The days they couldn't attend events, the weekday evenings they'd go out, they were the same. Suspicion rising, I probed. Come to think of it, my husband went on a business trip to Shizuoka last month. Oh? When was that exactly? The first weekend of last month. My wife said she was going on a trip with a friend on that exact same weekend. She brought back souvenirs from Shizuoka. It couldn't be. He and I looked at each other in dawning realization. It had been nearly 2 hours since Jasper and the others had called. Jasper got in touch first. My husband says he's about to reach the parking lot, so I'll go meet him. Telling Liam's father that, I headed for the lot. Peering cautiously into the car, I saw the passenger seat was empty. I'd been half expecting Liam's mother to be with him. Escorting Jasper, who got out acting like nothing was amiss, I returned to Ethan's hospital room. After Jasper finished his greetings with Liam's father, Liam's mother showed up. I didn't miss how she and Jasper both froze for a second upon seeing each other. Jasper greeted Liam's mother as if nothing was wrong. Hello there. Thanks for always looking out for my son. At Jasper's nervous voice, Liam's mother hurriedly returned the greeting. Oh, yes. Hello. The pleasure is ours. Seeing the two of them like that, I decided to bait them a little. Have you met my husband before, Liam's mom? At that, Liam's mother blurted in a fluster, of course not. Why would we have met before? You don't have to deny it so adamantly. It wouldn't be odd for you two to have met at parent observation days or school events, right? That's impossible. I didn't know Jasper was my son's friend's father. I hadn't called my husband by name in front of her even once. She took the bait. This confirms it, she's guilty. At that point, I became convinced of my husband's affair with her. Moreover, it seemed the two of them had been seeing each other without realizing their children were classmates. That's odd, isn't it? If this is your first time meeting, how do you know my husband's name? At my questioning, Liam's mother fell silent. Well, that's... Then Jasper, as if to cover for her, snapped at me. Hey! Aria! What's with you? You're being rude to her. She's the mother of our son's important friend. How about showing some respect? Liam, who had been sleeping, woke up at the sound of Jasper shouting. He pointed at Jasper and said, Oh, it's the man who comes to our house. The man who comes to their house. The hospital room fell silent. Liam's mother hurriedly tried to brush off his comment. Liam, what are you saying? You must be confusing him with someone else. Still looking puzzled, Liam continued, I'm not confused. Daddy, let me see your tablet. Taking the tablet from his father, Liam deftly pulled up a certain image. Here, look. The image showed a toy train set that Liam had put together. It was a Plarail, a toy railway set sold by a toy company. What about it? Isn't that the toy you always play with, Liam? His mother asked, perplexed. Liam pointed to a figure visible behind the Plarail. This is that man, right? I look at this photo sometimes, so I remember. Looking closely, you could see the living room past the children's room where the Plarail was set up. There, Jasper was pictured chatting intimately with Liam's mother. There's no talking your way out of this one, I muttered, glaring at them. Liam's father was also trembling with anger. He shouted at his own wife, You let your affair partner into the house while I was at work? And look at the date. Wasn't this a day I was away on a business trip? Seeing the date, I was stunned too. This date. Jasper, wasn't this a day you didn't come home, saying you were on a trip? Don't tell me you stayed over at Liam's house. Well, that's because she said it was okay, so I just... Jasper readily admitted to the affair, pinning the blame on Liam's mother. Hearing this, she hurriedly objected. What? You're blaming me. Weren't you the one who said, it's a waste of money to stay somewhere else? Liam's father put a stop to their unseemly squabbling. That's enough. Letting your affair partner stay over in a house with children, you're a failure as a mother. Absolutely despicable. I'm thoroughly disgusted with you. Startled by his words, Jasper seized the chance to make his mistress the villain. I really do think this woman is unfit to be a mother. At least I've never met up with her in front of Ethan. I cherish my child. What? What is he even saying? The nerve of this guy. A seething anger toward my husband rose up in me. Don't give me that crap. When Ethan fell unconscious, you made excuses about work and wouldn't even come back. That's not true. That's why I rushed to the hospital, isn't it? That's only because she decided to come back. Until Liam's dad told her about our son's injury, you had no intention of returning at all. At the time, I thought it would be fine without me. It's not about whether it's fine or not. Any father, upon hearing their child is unconscious, would drop everything and rush over. But you prioritize your trip with your mistress. Someone like that isn't a father or anything else. Think what you like, but I'm still Ethan's father. Besides, what are you planning to do if Ethan doesn't wake up like this? Can you, a stay-at-home mom, keep paying hospital bills? You and our son can't live without me. It's mortifying, but I don't have the savings to keep paying the hospital bills as is. Do I have no choice but to turn a blind eye to Jasper's infidelity for now? As I was about to resign myself to that, a faint voice came from the bed. Mom. I turned around to see Ethan with his eyes open a crack. Ethan. I embraced my son. Ethan hugged me tightly back, then said, "Even if Dad goes away, I'll be okay. I'll protect you, Mom." Hearing Ethan's words, Jasper looked stunned. "Ethan, why would you say that?" My son answered clearly, "Because you're leaving us, right, Dad? I heard you say so on the phone the other night after Mom fell asleep." "On the phone?" "When I got up to go to the bathroom, I heard you talking. You said, 'I don't feel anything for Arya anymore. If it weren't for our kid, I'd leave right away to be with you.' That's what you said, right, Dad?" "That's..." The color rapidly drained from Jasper's face. "So I'll grant your wish, Dad. I don't mind not being your child anymore. I don't need a dad like you." Jasper looked shocked at our son's declaration. I, on the other hand, made my decision thanks to Ethan's words. My mind is made up. I want a divorce. As I told my husband this, Liam's father held out a business card to me. "I'll help you with your resolution." The business card stated he was the head of a law firm. Besides this photo, there must be plenty of other evidence. "Leave the claims for alimony and child support to me. I intend to properly claim them from my wife too, so it's killing two birds with one stone." At his words, Liam's mother suddenly grew flustered. "Wait. I haven't agreed to a divorce yet. I'm not splitting up with you." Liam's father coldly declared to her, "Huh? A cheater like you doesn't get a choice." A rock-bottom excuse for a mother who has an affair in front of her child won't be granted custody either. "If you still object, we'll take it to court, okay? You know my high success rate in trials, right? And I've got all these advantageous conditions lined up. There's no way I'll lose." Perhaps realizing it was futile, Liam's mother's shoulders slumped. She consented to the divorce papers and payment of alimony. Seeing that, Jasper also signed a sworn statement pledging to pay his wife alimony and child support. He likely understood it was pointless to defy him as a lawyer. After that, we each got divorced. Once free, Liam's mother and Jasper started living together as planned. However, their life together differed from expectations. Living under the same roof, they began suspecting each other of cheating with someone else, and their relationship turned sour. Tired of that dynamic, Jasper actually did cheat with another married person. As careless as ever, Jasper's infidelity was swiftly discovered by his new lover's husband too, and he was again slapped with a claim for damages. Liam's mother also cheated with someone else, but her affair partner just used her for money before casually dumping her. Liam's mother, having blown through her savings, and Jasper, now mired in debt from alimony payments, apparently continued dragging out their relationship, unable to split up while blaming each other. At this rate, it's clear they'll soon be too cash-strapped to get by. But I don't feel one bit sorry for them. They made their bed, now they can lie in it. I, on the other hand, secured more than enough alimony and child support, thanks to Liam's father's efforts. Ethan and I now lead a tranquil life, just the two of us. Ethan was able to return to his normal daily life without any issues. He still plays happily with Liam, same as before. Liam's dad has become a valued confidant to me. We now have a relationship where I can talk to him about anything, more than just a fellow parent. One holiday, I decided to invite Liam and his father over for a dinner party. Ethan seemed excited too, eagerly helping out from the morning. Seeing the food laid out on the dining table, Liam's father kindly said with a gentle smile, "This looks truly delicious. Thank you for preparing such an elaborate meal." His words filled me with joy, making the cooking effort worthwhile. During the meal, Ethan and Liam regaled us with funny stories from school, laughing their heads off. My husband and I occasionally joined the conversation. I felt my heart swell with emotion, struck by how much my son had grown. After eating, while the children were absorbed in play, I leisurely enjoyed chatting with Liam's father over coffee in the living room. He's an irreplaceable presence with whom I can comfortably share my parenting concerns and sometimes get advice. I realize how truly blessed I am to spend peaceful holidays like this. I'm filled with gratitude that I can now lead a spiritually rich life, having overcome divorce. My heartfelt wish is to continue building a happy life together with Ethan, while also maintaining good relationships with Liam and his father.